Will, can you start? Excellent. It's like we've done this before. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen McLandrich. I am the new Multnomah Neighborhood Association president. And we are going to be starting our meeting. Let's start with attendance in the room here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folks. Tad, do we need to differentiate between?
We are technically all board members.
Okay, excellent. I'm Stefan.
Hi, Anita.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Wow.
All right, and online, I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 folks. I maybe double counted somebody who's in the room, but I think that is where we're at now. For folks here, make sure you signed in. The meeting agenda, we're gonna have committee reports. I have a very short goal setting exercise, and then we'll have a short announcement, and I'm gonna try to wrap this up 8 o'clock sharp. My 3-year-old is not going to bed for mom, so can't stay up too late. All right. The next step is approval of previous meeting minutes. Julie, you posted those.
I did.
Tad posted those. Thank you, Tad.
This is Will. I do have one amendment to those minutes, if possible, is to add the board members present, and we will talk about that. I can talk to Julie about it. Cool.
All right. Julie.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Outside of that, I hear any other comments on last month's meeting minutes? Those meeting minutes are approved. I can do that? Excellent. Fantastic. And we're going to go right into officer and committee reports. I'm going to start us off. So, as I said before, my name's Stephen McLandrich. I'm the new president. Since taking over from our previous president, Diane, I have access to email, thanks to Will. Thank you, Will. I've been trying to monitor that, delegate that as appropriate. I'll give a quick little teaser for the goal setting exercise. My big picture goal for this neighborhood association is to take all the folks that have energy and ideas that want to participate in helping build up our neighborhood. I want to encourage you all to bring those ideas to this neighborhood association. And with those ideas, I'm hoping that y'all can bring energy and participation. No one has to feel like they are getting voluntold to do anything around here. But if you do have a great idea, come with it and bring, your action to back it up. And then we're not going to be able to get to everything in this 20-minute goal setting exercise at the end here, but I am going to be encouraging folks to send me an email and get involved with what projects and what passion you have. And I know Julie's got projects. We've got folks at Friends of Spring Garden Parks that have projects. A lot of these, committees all have projects, and I think that's great. When I was seeing that nobody else was going to volunteer to be president of the association, I felt obligated to do this to keep all this great momentum and energy going. So I don't plan to do anything very bold as president, except help support you all in getting the goals that you want to get done. And I'll leave it at that. We'll get back to this later. Peter, treasurer report.
Hi, everybody. Peter Sampson. I'm the treasurer. And let me
report this evening will be quite brief because we're already in December. We did take a look at November, and we're still in a very healthy position. We have about $22,000 in the bank. And I've posted two reports. One is our financial statements, our financial position, and our financial activities for the year to date. And then a third panel, which shows for committee chairs or project managers, the fund balance for for each of your projects. So far, and I just add the caveat that we still have one more month to add, but we have not been nearly as active in the fall months as over the summer. So I don't expect our finances to change too much. So far, we're running $9,000 surplus on revenues of 22,000, and we have now no liabilities. All our bills are paid, and all our grants have been, the work has been completed, so we have no restricted funds right now. So we're in a super strong position, which makes your treasurer very happy. The second document is a first pass at the budget. And if you take a look at that document, which, Stefan, do you have the ability to pull up? You may say no.
Probably not. Will,
Okay.
Can you pull this up quicker?
I'll take a look.
Anyway, if you're interested and take the time to look at our budget report that I posted, you'll see three columns for 2025. One is the budget we passed in April. The second is our 2025 actuals through November, and then a column that I call variances, which is the difference between our actuals and our budget. And then the fourth column is a first pass at the 2026 budget. We budgeted about almost $18,000 in revenue, and we brought in 22. We budgeted about 15,000 in expenses and spent 13. So we were better than budget in both sides of the ledger. We brought in more revenue than we budgeted, and we spent less than we budgeted. So I really want to reinforce what Stefan, the sentiment that Stefan opened our meeting with. My job as treasurer is to help you guys make the projects that you are dreaming of or passionate about happen. And I would ask that for substantial projects that you bring me a plan or bring a plan to the board. A rough sketched out budget would be super helpful for me. And but I expect that we won't have a final 2026 budget until the February meeting, because next month it'll take a while to close out the 2025 year. And in those couple of months, I hope to get some feedback from people about projects that they would like to undertake in 2026. And I know that there are several great projects out there already. And we've landed actually a couple of grants already for the Village Park. And there's all kinds of good news, but I expect there'll be more in the coming months. So I'll field any questions that you like, or I will pass it on to our next report.
All right, let's go to Julie, Secretary report.
Can you hear me? Owl little thing, can you guys hear me? Online? Can anyone hear me? I mean, I know you guys can hear me.
I see a thumbs up.
Yes, yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
We
I'm
can hear
happy
you.
to, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. I did not submit a livability report on the Google Drive. I do apologize. The month has been really slow. because I was out of town and it was raining and we had to cancel a big project because of the weather. And this month is, nothing going on as well. One thing I've decided to do, right now, the livability committee is me and Tom Moore, who is the co-chair. We've asked other, members to be on the livability committee. So Christopher Lett, Carl Souza and David Withers have been kind enough to join. So we're gonna have a inaugural, it's gonna have to be in January meeting, and we're gonna start organizing the year and finding out what those, a mini, what Stephen was talking about, what gets this team excited, what are we hearing from the communities, and what that looks like. I will be looking for an MLK Day. Well, we always do an MLK Day volunteer opportunity, normally for trash. That's that's January 15th, which is soon. I can open up a solve event. I can do these things, but I'll work with the livability people to find out if there's what we want that to look like. If anybody has any thoughts or feelings about a big trashy area, it doesn't have to be in the confines of the neighborhood. But if anybody has any recommendations of a nice, dirty, trashy area, just hit me up at secretary@mnapdx.org and we'll put it for consideration for that. There are other jobs that I'd like to allocate under livability. We started doing safety street monitors for Halloween and for the holiday gala. The business association asked if we could help, and I'm like, sure, how hard can it be? It's really hard. It's really, really hard, and it's really, really important, and I don't know what I'm doing, and we need to do it right, and it's the neighborhood deserves it, the kids deserve it, the drivers deserve it. The business can't close the area down, and we have to make it work. So just a safety street monitor lead, there'd be really only 2 days, which would be Halloween and Christmas, maybe Earth Day, but that'd be more fun. There's other things that we'll be looking into. We are looking for a big project for summer. We can do another dumpster day. It's massive and awesome and fun, and we can do that. There's plenty of grants out there for us. I'm also going to be looking for a Barber Boulevard business district czar, somebody to start talking to. I worked with what's it called? What's the nonprofit that helps Portland? Prosper Portland. About that, and they gave us some guidance on how we could get the businesses on Barber together to strengthen them. And I'm working on a speed bump fact thing for 30th, which was been a request. So I'm all over the place right now, but I'm looking forward to having more people on livability to really start allocating things and really getting information on what the community is looking for trash, graffiti, and other types of community improvement projects.
Thanks, Julie. Tad, governance.
Could you bring up the motion that's in the meeting materials?
Right here. And all right.
Right. This is the same motion that was presented last month. A motion to amend the bylaws concerning emergency board meetings. The one change, scroll up to the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these 2 lines. I've added 2 lines to this that didn't appear on what you saw last month. Just to kind of clarify that if this motion is approved, this motion grants the president the authority to take immediate action in the event of an emergency. Afterwards, the president is still accountable to the board for those actions. And the rationale is that events of the past year have proven that 24 hours is too long to wait for action in the case of some emergencies. We're not voting on this today. We'll be voting on this next month. But if there is any question, concern, discussion, this is the time to have it. Hearing none, I'm moving on. I haven't set a date for a next governance committee yet, but have chosen a topic, and that is to review our election procedures while they are still on our minds. So I will be reaching out to set a date with the members of the governance committee this week.
Thank you,
There's my
Tim.
report.
Excellent. Beth, District 4 Coalition.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you
Okay.
just fine.
Well, I sent in, submitted kind of well, many items in my report, so I'm not going to cover all of them. Sharon Keast is a person that we've been working with in civic life, and she's going to be retiring, and the city does not intend to fill that position. So we don't know yet who we're going to be working with, but we do know that whoever it is going to have a lot more work to do since it's going to be just one person instead of two. There is going to be an opening, or there is an opening for a non-board, that means non-District 4 board position to join the Communications Committee of District 4. And I really hope that one of us will sign up for that. The more we're involved in District 4 in active ways, the more MNA's voices heard there. And I think that's really important for us. We're busy with elections. District 4 is going to be having elections in February for a new executive director. No, I'm sorry, for a new president. But they're looking for a new executive director. I'm on that nominating committee, and we're working on that now. I think that's about it. The rest, please read in my report.
Excellent, Beth. Thank you so much.
I assume that was the 2026 numbers, not the 2006 numbers, which it said on that. On item number 2, it said 2006. Not just a typo. I
Oh,
believe.
Yep.
Oh, could you read that, please? Because I can't read that. I mean, I could read
Yes.
it with my whatever. Please read that out loud.
We have a
It says
heads
we
up
have-
that all 4 city districts should expect to receive a cut in city funding for 2006 budget.
2026.
Right. I just thought I'd point that out. I'm sure that I knew
About
that's what
that.
it
I'm
was.
losing decades. I'm getting old.
We're all losing them.
I will make that change. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, for the 2026 budget. Things are not going to be that great for everybody in all the districts. Hopefully it'll get better, and hopefully we can get more bang for our buck. Oh, another thing I wanted to say is that the newspaper that D4C publishes, that we submit articles to every month, is struggling financially, and they might be coming back to each neighborhood association to ask for funds to help keep that going until next June. I'll keep you posted on that. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Will, I have you down here next for communications, and if you want to do equity also.
I can at the same time, sure. They're very similar, actually. Communications, we are basically getting our act together in a variety of places. I could share our report, but I just want to get some highlights. The report is in the meeting materials folder for looking at it, but we have now a monthly meeting set. It'll be the 3rd Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. via Zoom. It'll be a Zoom meeting, and the first meeting will be this Wednesday coming up, the 17th of December. We are also continuing to, we put together our communications guidelines document, which is really important so that we all are on the same page as to what's happening in what areas, such as the publication dates for the multi-messenger and our page for the District 4 Coalition Voices. People who would like to edit either of those or submit articles for them are welcome to send them to me as the equity chair at mnapdx.org or edit and produce the materials. For example, this month's D4C Voices, the largest thing will be a message from Stephen as the new president, with other smaller announcements as necessary. And the monthly messenger is a chance for us to present ourselves to our mailing list of 1,200 people in any way that the editor sees creatively to fit to get us a good piece of attention on a regular monthly mailing. We have a good crew. They are working. There's Marilyn Shaw is in as a coordinator of I gotta say it right, of social media. By the way, they are all know more than I do. Sarah Dodge is in there. Peter Sampson is in. Julie doesn't like to be, but she's a very good consultant on that sort of thing. And Sanjuro has been substituting as or serving as our tech support, not actually a member of the group. And Stefan is an ex officio member for communications. One thing we need to focus on is clarifying our message to the community, our messaging in general, rather than the technicalities. I'll leave it at that. Any questions, thoughts?
Hey, Will, this is Julie. I've asked this before and you've helped me and I'm asking again.
Sure.
If you could, I hate to do it, but if you could remind the board 1 week before when Messenger is due, when articles for Messenger and for D4C, because they're different, right? The due dates are different. So I just get,
dates. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So for me, I get like, oh, I have to have my committee report in, the first Tuesday of the month to meet my agenda requirement. And then I've got a Messenger deadline and a D4C deadline. So I get confused.
Sure.
So,
I think he sent out the calendar invite. It's on my calendar.
Really?
For the 30th of December.
There's a calendar.
Still?
Yeah. It's on the Google Calendar, but I think the one thing is clear, you are not obligated as a committee chair or board member to submit something for either the Messenger or the D4C Voices. This is an option. You don't have to do it. The one report that's important is the report to the board, which is due the week before the meeting. So like the one for this month, when the meeting was on the 9th, the report was due on the 2nd. And by convention, we've started distributing that by email to the board rather than hoping people will get out onto the web and look at it. So there's a little push processing there. The others are strictly up to you. What we're producing is an option, but I certainly will send around an email to board and committee chairs anyway, as a reminder that if you want to, put it on in.
I think it's, we do I think that we do so many good things. It's nice for us to communicate to the other neighborhoods and to our community members. So while it's an option, I hate to go silent when, I have volunteers that did a great job and then I realize I've missed a deadline. But again, thank you. I do need to pay more attention to the Google Calendar. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I'm saying yes to the reminder. Okay.
I have a question, this is Sarah, regarding with new leadership coming in. And Will, I know you and I and Peter and a few others have talked about the clarifying the voices piece. Sorry, not the newsletter, but like who M&A is, what is our like little tagline, what is like our bigger tagline. I'm trying to understand kind of where or how that would come to fruition, and or is that a governance thing too, because it speaks to kind of who we are and what we say. I'm just trying to understand, that's come up a few times. How do we get it done? Like where do we draw upon?
It sounds
right
like
people?
a great 2026 goal.
Yeah. Yeah, we've said that the major messaging, the vision, goals, and so on, should come from governance or the board. And the job of the communications committee is then to frame that in ways that are appealing to various audiences, as I'm hearing it. But that's up to us as an organization. I think the main messages should come from the board or from an editing committee, which is then presented to the board, but it's up to us. I'm not really sure where the communications begins and other things end, if you will.
Yeah. Well, okay, high level thoughts on that. Sarah, do you have a little energy to maybe come up with a little proposal? M&A, the heart of the city.
For
Yeah.
2026 goals, is that what I mean? Yes.
I think that'd be great if the communications committee can kind of come up with an outline of what maybe is needed, because I do think would be nice to have that and even potentially an outline of 12 or so D4 articles that we could chip away at through the year. So, and you know, I would volunteer to write one for transportation at some point.
Mhm.
So,
Obviously, I would
I
do,
can
I would
skip
do
it.
too, I mean.
yeah, and so maybe we can divvy up those between everybody that wants to, you know, write one. You look like you wanna write one. Okay,
I guess I have the wrong expression on my face.
alright, I think that's great, thank you.
Okay. Well, shifting over to equity, we have several projects in the works right now. We've been working on community garden for Stevens Creek Crossing. We may need to fund them because their grant funding fell through for the community garden. We don't yet know how much money they asked for or how much they'll actually need. But I want to focus on a project that we have begun to get really focused on, which is support for immigrants and the community in the face of the ICE raids and other terror attacks, if I may, that may be pejorative, things where people are very frightened. We want to be sure that we are not a partisan group saying pro or con the government in some way or other. We do speak, however, for all of the residents of our neighborhood, and if they are in trouble, worried, frightened, and which they are, many of them, we're facing a situation where you're walking down the street, and if you meet a targeting algorithm, if you will, let's say you're a brown Spanish-speaking person, you can be questioned, are you a citizen? If you can't give adequate answers to the person, you can be held for questioning right there off the street, and people are brought out for big question. They might be released, but it's not like you get a traffic ticket and keep on driving. It's like you get a traffic ticket, they pull your car over and take you to jail. This is a very serious situation for people. We are working on developing some trainings from other organizations. Beth can talk to us about some more of that, and what people can do who are neighbors to support people without becoming endangered themselves in some way. But this is becoming a serious civil rights and equity issue for the entire neighborhood. You can read the rest of the report and what we're doing on that. I just wanted to highlight that. Beth, you have what would you like to add on that project or anything you want there?
Well, I know you've been working with the Business Association to help them decide their best ways to assist, and some of that has to do with the red card distribution, which I know a local organization that I'm involved in has already done a pass through the through the neighborhood businesses to pass out red cards for. Usually, that's for restaurant workers, generally, and customers as well. I think some of the things that people are getting involved in, including myself, are delivering groceries to people who are too afraid to go get groceries themselves. There's two Mexican markets or Hispanic markets around 15 minutes away from where we live, and the people are calling in, getting their grocery orders, and they pay for them, but they need people to deliver them. And I know that takes some courage to do that, but I think it's going to take courage on all of our parts to really get in there and help immigrants. I learned a story. This did not happen in our neighborhood, but it could happen in our neighborhood. One person came to America from Vietnam when he was an infant. He got in a little bit of trouble when he was a teenager, but he's been an adult for a very long time. He got swept up and deported to Vietnam. He has no memory of ever having lived there because he's an infant. He doesn't speak Vietnamese. He's a foreigner in that land. And these things don't just happen to Mexican people or Hispanic people. It's happening to everybody. That's all I need to say about that for now. I don't know. Anything else you want me to add, Will? About trainings, I'm looking into, I've been involved in actually helping signing up for trainings, but the trainings are pretty full. People are really interested in getting trained on what to do if you see ICE agents cruising your neighborhood, what to do if you see them taking a person. That would entail taking out your camera and videoing it. It would entail knowing how not to get too involved in it so that you're not endangering yourself or the person who's being taken into custody. So I'll tell you more about that. Right now the trainings are full up, but I'll pass the information on to Will and he can let everybody know when and where the next trainings are. Some of them are done by Zoom, some of them are done in person.
All right, Beth, thank you so much. Will, anything else on the equity front?
Yeah, just one quick resources on that and other areas are in our website page is mnapdx.org/equity. I particularly refer you to PIRC, P-I-R-C, which is Portland Immigrant, God, what is it? Here, I got it. Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition. They have activities and there's a hotline to call in case you're involved or know about some ICE activity. mnapdx.org/equity. That's it.
I'm glad you bring that up because they are, that organization is particularly interested in receiving videos. If you happen to see an ICE activity and you video it, they will want you to call them and then send them the video. They're collecting them from all over our area.
Excellent.
So yes, that's an important connection for us.
All right, thank you. I'm going to keep moving on to Parks, Friends of Spring Garden Park. Sarah?
Yes. We are still going strong with our stewardship events. We had one on the 3rd that focused on weaving in the nest. Those darn kids love to just take all the sticks out.
You mean the swords?
The swords, yes, the various swords. So we put an ask out to the neighborhood and one or two neighbors brought some sticks, branches rather. So we did that. Still a little holy, but nonetheless we carry on. There is another event on the 17th. Please come if you can. It's from 9 to 11. And then we, Pam and I are going to be meeting with Parks and Rec in early January to talk about 2026 plans. The bottom line is really just keep stewardship strong. So we'll continue to work with them on dates for next year. One thing to look forward to is I've just applied for the summer free-for-all with Parks. We're looking to do a concert in the park this next summer. So this summer we did a movie. It was a kids movie, which we got a lot of feedback about it being starting too late and ending too late because it starts at dusk, which is like 9.
My kid rolled home at 12:30.
Yeah, that was a little bit hard.
7-year-old.
So the concerts start at 6:30 and go until 8:30. So it's a little earlier. So we'll hear back on that. And then the most exciting thing ever is that we have a winter restroom at the top of the park. So fear not, if you come there and you need to do your business, it's there at the top of the park. We did have one incident of some someone lit a fire inside of it the first week that it was there, but they unfortunately have cleaned it up and are monitoring it. They looked at whether or not it needed to be locked, but they just don't have the resources available to go by. So if you do see something, I'll look at what the right, actually, I think we have a poster on the porta potty that if you see it needs to be replenished or whatnot, do let us know so we can continue to have that beautiful porta potty at the top of the park. It's really nice when you have little kids who need to go. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Sarah. I am next for transportation, and I've gotten two really fun updates. The first is that somebody at Portland BES mapped out a route to put trees in the closed slip lane at 35th and Falcon. So if y'all know where that is, it's by the food trucks, just south of it. And PBOT was sort of like, you can't do this multiple times. And I got in touch with someone at BES and said, don't ask PBOT, just go ahead and get this permit and do it. They also told me that there is a grant that they select some projects for, which the next application process is applications are due in April. So I think it'd be best for us to wait, apply for that grant and see if we can get it to help fund it. The second thing is I just got some word today that there's a sort of tentative funding in place to potentially upgrade the bike lanes along Multnomah Boulevard, especially at Capitol Highway. So where it goes under the bridge, the bike lane gets very narrow, and it's probably the most dangerous spot along Multnomah Boulevard. There's been a proposal to flop the westbound bike lane to the north side of the big concrete abutment there and widen the sidewalk to make enough room for bikes and pedestrians. Then they can shift traffic over to keep the eastbound bike lane the same width through the whole way. They recently came up with a budget on that, and they have some of that being paid for through a bike bus. Maplewood won a bike bus grant for $100,000. And then there's gonna be $150,000 contributed from fixing our streets, which is the gas tax. So, and they think they can do it for 250. I'm a little skeptical it's gonna be that cheap, but that would be awesome. So that's what I recently heard. Also, the best news is that the transportation committee is now more than one person. Thanks to Shelby. All right. And I've also asked Shelby to help out with land use stuff. And I am a little delinquent in connecting Shelby with some folks who I have recruited to do land use
I got a whole thing
training.
built.
Okay,
Don't you worry about
awesome,
it.
awesome. And soon to be transportation co-chair also, and hopefully just chair. That is all I have. Shelby, anything?
Yeah,
Your
I
stuff?
have some stuff. I emailed you something just now because I did not
Awesome.
put anything on the second. I apologize. I'm fully a week late.
Just uploaded mine, like.
Perfect. I didn't even upload it. I just emailed him. I was
Okay,
like,
great,
"Hey."
great, 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 great.
Okay, so before going into any updates, just want to give a quick update. So I started building out a project tracker of all of our land use permit transportation projects, which is exciting. So that's what I sent over to you. If you want to, if you
Excellent.
can share it, I don't know. I can share it. I don't know how to share it. I'm not in the Zoom technically. And so this is kind of what we connected, what I want to connect to what we talked about at the District 4 land use transportation meeting as well. So I went to that meeting last week. And it was their 12th meeting of the year. So they're just really kind of getting their feet under themselves, and they've been working on this new priority of tracking document. So basically just like a giant district-wide like wish list of all the projects and ideas, and just kind of longstanding pain points that all of us on the west side deeply feel, like missing sidewalks. And so they want to gather all of our ideas, all the neighborhoods. And so it's not anything that's guaranteed as a funded project or a funded wish list, more of just like a clearinghouse of kind of everything that people want to see happen. So the purpose is they want all of us in the neighborhoods to submit like our best ideas forward and have 3 key projects from each neighborhood. And so that way all of the neighborhoods can kind of, they want to figure out if there's any, you know, cross referencing. Like if we all want striping, then that's like a perfect thing for all the neighborhoods to be like, striping is the most important thing for District 4 right now. It's like the most budget friendly thing, the most palatable thing for PBOT to approve. So let's figure out all these crosswalks throughout the city that PBOT can just like green stamp us. So that's a big activity project list that they want all of us to contribute in. And they're also very specific on neighborhood boundaries. There's a lot on our list. It's not even ours. It's like Multnomah. And then it's like all the Hillsdale projects are on our name, like all the Ash Creek projects are in our name. So they really are true on like borders and boundaries so that they can show that like all these neighborhoods want this, not just like Multnomah wants it for everybody, because we do, but they also need to like speak up too. So that's like a huge thing they're working on. So I got the document tonight, actually. Mary Kelly sent it over to me from the city civics life company group. That's who she sent it over. So anyways, to support their whole strategy, I created a like workbook to help us stay organized on our end. And so I sent it to Stephen and we can share it to the group. I'll send you a read-only file so that way like no tinkering gets kind of mucked with it. And so I have different tabs and just like it pulls all the land use permits that are building permits as well, land use applications, and then any transportation projects we can keep adding to that as they pop up. And then any public works activity that are in our neighborhood. So just like a residence tracking system. So like anybody can go through and look at like, oh, why is there like a development notice sign on there? And so the goal is to capture all of these things while they're in land use review so that we're not surprised by like a bulldozer showing up on someone's lot. And we know about these things like up to a year in advance so that we can have say on things depending on like the tier status of the projects and how they impact the community. I'm not tracking anybody's like kitchen renovations. I don't care about that.
Nor should you.
I mean, like, I don't have a permit for my kitchen renovation, so don't track me either, but it, you know, there's tons of cottage clusters coming and there's like so many like wonderful new opportunities for land use and tracking, and they'll put sidewalks in. That's all I gotta say. So
Awesome.
we cannot shy away from the sidewalks. So yeah, long story short, I've built it all out. I'm happy to upload it, happy to send it out.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
How do people contribute to that list?
you can send me a message.
Okay.
If you have like, it's like a big Portland Maps like distillation, and I just live and breathe in Portland Maps. I'm a huge busybody. I did all this before I joined you guys, and so like I can just get all this. We're all busybodies at heart. We wouldn't be here if we weren't, and so now we can all put our busybodiness into like really great use. So if anybody has any questions, like once you get it, if you want to read through it, just come find me. We'll deep dive into Portland Maps. It's very fun.
Awesome. Shelby, thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, off to MSRV. Oh,
Hello?
Hannah, yes,
Then,
go for it.
excuse me. One quick question. This is Beth. Shelby, are you going to be the M&A representative to the District 4 Land Use Transportation Committee?
Yes.
Awesome. Would you please send me your info so I can pass that along and make sure that you're on their proper list, etc.?
Yeah, I went to the meeting a couple weeks ago and Mary got me all set up on everything, so good to go.
Okay, and if you could send me your info too, I'd appreciate it at bethfomansky@aol.com.
Okay.
Thanks, I
Awesome.
appreciate that. And I'm so glad you're doing that. Hooray.
Totally. No
We need to
problem.
be in District 4.
Good.
Okay, now on to the MSRVCAC. Mark Booth, I saw you're on, but are you? Yeah, perfect.
Yep. So generally no changes. Urban Alchemy folks, the operator, are doing their best to add programs for the participants, and at the same time they're trying to keep incidents that affect the neighbors down in both inside and outside of the periphery through their Portland Love branch. They're currently, from what we're hearing, seems to be more activity on the perimeter. There's still noise and things that happen, but they're working really hard to try and source that and tamp it down. But they're working hard at it. They had an event, Thanksgiving meal with the folks inside. Urban Alchemy did. We've touched on the Good Neighbor Agreement. The Good Neighbor Agreement specifies sort of Sunstone Way as the operator, and in other places, All Good Northwest is the operator. So that part of it is kind of an easy thing that ought to be fixed to get the right operator in there and right information for it. There are other things. Macy, who's relatively recent in our little group of four, has started a deep dive into it, and she's come up with some things that for this sort of foundational document, she believes we ought to take a look at for those things that are not the easy thing, like the name of the operator. We would probably need to have a sort of a working path forward with the neighborhood association board and you, Stephen, how far we're going to get into it if we are. And the city would expect that too, as you're a signatory. Sounds like the Friends of the Safe Rest Village are going to have a meal with the participants on the 19th of December. So people seem to be getting into the holiday spirit. We as a group of four have been talking a bit with Sanjuro about a reporting tool that we hope would simplify things for the neighbors that have to make reports. They don't want to have to make reports, but they have to make reports in the middle of the night for things, and make the reports more consistent and be able to track things and so forth. And unless you have a different path to go down in this, I'm going to use that as a segue to Sanjuro.
Excellent. All right. Love it. Love it. And I've got some stuff at the end too for y'all. Okay. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it. Sanjuro, public safety.
Yeah. As Mark mentioned, I've been working with the CSE folks to come up with an incident tracking system for the nearby neighbors of the MSRV. There is an existing system that anyone across the city can use that is just like you take a picture and you send an email, and it will save that information. It'll pull the location information out of the picture and save that to a database. It's a really cool system. It'll even contact 311 if you submit the kind of report that's appropriate for that. In a few minutes, when I stop talking, I will put a link to that system in the chat. And like I said, anyone across the city can use it. It's great for taking pictures. It's not so great for reporting stuff inside the MSRV because you're not going to have pictures and it's a single location. So you don't need a location tracker. So that's why we're working on developing another system for tracking things that are more specific to the MSRV. So we're hoping to piggyback that off of the system. It's just the picture plus email. But I'm talking to Wilf, the developer of that, who did it for District 4, in a couple of days to go through some of the details of how that might work.
This is Julie, can you explain again the site and its purpose? Because I'm thinking of graffiti. So tell me again what it is.
Yeah, so it's when you say the site, you mean like the application. Yeah, so all you need to do is, and graffiti is one of the things that they'll handle. All you need to do is take a picture of the graffiti, make sure your location information is turned on, and send that picture to a particular email address, and it will contact the people, like in this case, the graffiti people, to come to report it. I don't know how much, like, getting information back from, say, 311 or some other entity within the city is sort of that's a process that they're starting, but this will do some reporting for you.
And it is an app, or is it like a text?
It's just, well, so it's both an app, so it's an application that lives like somewhere, but for anyone out there, it is just an email with a picture.
And how many pictures can be added?
That's a good question. So, like I said, I'm going to link instructions in the chat as soon as I'm done talking, and the instructions are there. It'll tell you how to turn on your your location system and all that kind of stuff. They're really good instructions. So yeah, and that's in my report as well, that link. So either way you go, you can find that. Yeah, so hopefully I will have, like, once we figure out exactly how we want to do the system for the MSRB, I'll be able to start working on it, and we hopefully next month I'll have a little bit more to report on for that. That's it. Thanks.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another 9 minutes left, but we're right on time in my opinion. Okay, the next item here is before we get to goal setting exercise, which I'll just kind of repeat myself from earlier, is there is an organization that is looking at renaming Stevens Creek. And they would like someone from the Multnomah Neighborhood Association to take part in their meetings about to rename it or not, and if they want to rename it, what's the new name going to be? I don't have any time and energy for this, but if someone here does, I can connect you, so let me know now or shoot me an email if you're like, that seems like a great use of my time. I'm gonna propose they just call it Stephen's Creek, then no one has to change any signs and it can be more tolerable for people who don't like Stevens Creek.
I'm new to the area. Is there a rationale for the renaming?
I think it's a I guess Stevens was the last name of a person who was able to make a land claim because of their background, while the native people that lived here were not eligible to make that land claim, and so it is trying to amend the past.
Yeah.
So Lane County, I think, recently did this and found that like Lane's like the bad guy's grandson was actually a really good guy. So I think they renamed the county after the guy's grandson, who was like really awesome, and then they didn't have to like do a lot of paperwork. That's why we should call it Stephen's Creek. Okay. So reach out to me.
What city, who's doing that? Who is it, the city, the state?
There's a volunteer group that's doing a bunch of creek restoration projects in the corridor.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just reach out to me and I might, if no one does, then I think they'll be fine. Next piece of information, going back to the MSRV discussion, we have a guest next week. It'll be Megan Moyer. I hope I'm saying her name right. She is the Multnomah County Commissioner, and she lives in Southwest somewhere. I don't know if anybody knows exactly where she lives, but she'll be coming to discuss mental health. Exactly. Well, she'll be talking about the subject of mental health services, and I think it's going to dovetail into a Safe Rest Village conversation, which I do think is important to have. And so Mark, I'm gonna be hopefully getting a chance to chat more with your committee, but I would love for you all to be able to make your voices heard when it comes to some of the negative externalities of having a Safe Rest Village in a residential neighborhood and how some of those have to do with mental health. Does that sound good? Okay, excellent. We'll talk about that later. And then
Stephen?
Yes.
This is Macy. Hi, sorry.
Macy.
Sorry, I've got a cold. Sorry, you said it was next week, but you meant next month, right? Next month's meeting.
January 13th.
Right, okay, thank you.
Fantastic. And we will have an hour and a half meeting next week to squeeze in Megan Moyer. She's gonna be going right at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. Just FYI. Okay, I've got 5 minutes left, and before we adjourn, I do want to go back to the goal setting. We won't do an open discussion here, but what I would like to hear from folks, and please email me, president@mnapdx.org. And I know some of you know how to get in touch with me in other ways. I just want to make sure that everybody feels like if they have an idea and some energy behind it, to please bring that forth. because we want to hear what those are. We've been doing great things. Are we doing dumpster days again this year?
I'm gonna need help, but I think that I think 2026 should have a big, awesome thing like
Okay.
that.
And
Yeah.
then we're gonna have, hopefully, this tree planting at 35th and Falcon, potentially not till the fall, if we get a grant in April, but that's one of my goals for this next year. I know other folks have other goals, so let's kind of get all those ideas and goals out in front, and then we'll figure who's got energy to do what.
Mhm.
Okay. Any new business anyone wants to put out here? We have just a few minutes. I'm not hearing anything. Great job, officers and committee chairs, for getting through all those committee reports. It was fantastic. As the president, I gotta say, it's fantastic hearing about all the great stuff this neighborhood association is getting into. That's just really exciting for me. And I appreciate all the support that I've gotten in the last 3+ weeks, which is gonna make my role easy. And so it's thanks to all your all's hard work. So appreciate it. And motion to adjourn.
Oh, that's my job. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded.
All right, thank you all. We're gonna adjourn. Take care. We'll see you all in January.